Aloha, MedTubers. It has been a stupid long time. I recognize that. I can't even begin to explain how crazy it has been. So we're just gonna move past it. We're gonna pretend like it didn't happen, and we're gonna move on. One of the biggest things that I see in some of the Montessori homeschooling and in general homeschooling is about controlling emotions and learning about inner peace and things of that nature. So I'm constantly posting things about our peace shelf. And if you look through our videos, I have in our other room where we used to have our classroom, I did an introduction to our peace shelf, and it was a tall white shelf. It had the same materials basically, but there was an introduction to our peace shelf. So you could see that video if you want to see like a quick overview of everything that was on the shelf. And then I did another video about the screaming jar right here. And on our shelf here, we have a 4-cube shelf. So it's the shelves, let me back up. The Montessori shelves are generally designed to be read like a book. So when you come into a classroom and you look at a shelf, the first thing at the top left-hand side is what you choose. And after you've mastered that, or you've learned it, or you've been asked to move on, then you move to the next thing and you go from left to right, top to bottom. So on this shelf, the screaming jar comes first, and then the peace items, and then the nature basket down there, you can kind of see it if I move my hand, and then the feelings job here. So we talked about the screaming jar in a previous video that you can scroll down and you can find about the screaming jar. You can find about how I present it, why I made it, and maybe how you can make your own. So I'm not going to do that one today, but today I'm going to move on to the next job, so to speak, in the shelf, in that it's the next cube over. And this section, I usually just gather some peaceful objects for contemplation. When a child, or when my child, needs peace development, when they begin, it's usually they need to calm some temper tantrums, which is why this one is first. Once they are good at calming temper tantrums, or once they have a place where they can take their temper tantrum, then they're ready to contemplate peace. They can't, in my experience, really contemplate what peace means if they're not able to understand when they need it, which is what this is. Which is why in my shelf they're presented this way and in this order. In another classroom it might be different. I'll be honest, I don't know of any other classroom, home or regular school, that has a screaming jar, so it's kind of a out of place thing anyway. So in our peace contemplation shelf, we have right now, we have a little statue of Buddha, and we have had some lessons on Buddha and his teachings, not religiously, but as far as peace is concerned. The word peace, because let's be honest, recognizing a word and being able to see that word in different places helps you feel connected to what you've already learned. So recognizing the word peace, when they see it somewhere else in an advertisement or on a t-shirt at Target, they can recognize it even if they're not really reading it. And to make that connection is always a meaningful thing for them. Don't fall down. This is sort of a makeshift book that I did. So this Can You Say Peace is actually a book by Karen Katz. And it goes through peace in all the different languages. So at some point, years ago, I took that book to my copier and I copied the page and shrunk it so that I could make a small little shelf-size book instead of having, because it was a big book, like it was really big. So I just copied it, and on this page is the picture and what they say, and then over here I wrote, or I typed out what country this is from, and so on. So, and it goes through all of them, and it just says, Stefan says Mir, and that's Russia, right? It's very simple, and you have to read it with them, or older kids might need some help with the pronunciations, but I appreciate that it's multicultural. we are not the only place on the planet that talks about peace or needs peace or studies peace. And this is a little introduction to cultural peace in a way that preschoolers can really understand, seeing pictures of people from other places and being able to say the words, being able to see the words and pronounce the words. It's all very meaningful to a preschooler. And this book is really well done for those reasons. And that's why it's here. So I just, like I said, I shrunk it down. I put it all together. I glued this on the back of each page. And then I just laminated it. Can you see that? I laminated it. I put some holes in it. And then these are just, you know, the things that like do the stuff. And then they like slide in and you make them tight. I can't even think of what they're called. Anyway, it was really simple. So that's always there, threatening to fall down. And then, as always, our huggable planet. This is again another calming technique. My son can smack it and he can punch it and he can hit it and he can throw it if we need to and it's in a controlled environment. He can take this to his bed and he can throw it up against the wall if he's angry. The huggable planet is amazing. You can squeeze it as tight as you possibly can to get that anger and that frustration out of your body. Because let's be honest, right? They're preschoolers. They have such huge feelings and emotions. They need to get them out. They need safe ways to get them out. The huggable planet is a perfectly safe way to get out the frustration and the anger that you might be feeling because you don't get to choose the job from the shelf that you want. Right? It's ridiculous to us, but to them, it's a real serious problem that literally makes their brains go crazy. So if they have a place that they can get rid of some of that, the huggable planet is there. So while this is contemplation, you can always take the huggable planet and use it to let out your frustrations in a safe environment. It's safe for the huggable planet, it's safe for you, it's safe for everyone else who might be in the classroom, and it's not gonna hurt anyone. And these are things that they've learned via a lesson on these things in the shelf. We'll talk about the word piece and the letters that are in it. We'll talk about the Buddha, we'll talk about the book, and we'll talk about the huggable planet. So none of this is just shoved out here and left to their own devices. It's all within a lesson, but that's what's next. The things on these shelf, on this particular shelf, will change. We used to have a mind jar. It was recently broken by a slumber party of 5th graders. Broken good. We used to have like a, maybe I can put it on this side of the screen, one of those like finger mazes. It was just a spiral. We put a marble in it and they would use their finger to push the marble around the maze and then back to the outside. It's very satisfying, it's very mesmerizing, and for those qualities, very calming. So the things in the contemplation corner of our peace shelf, they will change, but not super frequently. Not super frequently. So that is the second portion of our peace shelf that my homeschool kids use. Let me know in the comments what you're doing in your homeschool day or in your homeschool environment for peace. I love seeing new ideas. Let me know if you have any questions. If you have a particular situation that you're trying to figure out how to address and how to let your kid deal with that emotion, please let me know. Like the screaming jar, I'm always looking for an opportunity to help you create a tangible material that can help your child or other people's children work through the emotions that they're feeling, because that's what peace is about. It's about working through the emotions that you feel, not ignoring them, not suppressing them, not just flailing and letting them out, but working through them. I hope this is helpful, guys. Stay tuned for more videos. We'll go through the rest of this shelf, and I'm sure we'll go through more things in our classroom as they come up and as my kids are using them. All right, we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.